Hi, hello, namaskar everyone. Welcome to Dhwani, which means sound in Hindi. We bring to you resonating sounds created by the actions of women innovators, leaders, experts, and entrepreneurs who are making a difference in their and others' lives. We share their stories to inspire and empower other women. Dhwani is an initiative of Innoberry which is offering a platform for the women to voice their thoughts, struggles, challenges, achievements, highs and lows, and the journey that they have undertaken. I am Pooja Bhatia, a tech transfer, patent licensing, and intellectual property professional, and now your host for this show. Let's inspire and get inspired. Hi, good morning, everyone. Today I have with me someone who is a biotechnologist, an innovation enthusiast, an incubation manager by profession. She's also into science communication, mental health awareness programs, and she believes in something. It's not about ideas, it's about making the ideas happen. Good morning, Anshu. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, good morning, Pooja. Thank you for having me here.
Anshu, I know you have been in this space for last three and a half years. So, what is it that really ticks and makes your work interesting?
So, my journey from research to incubation has been variable. So, when I was in research, it was more about the development side of it, right?
Yeah.
You get to know about the innovations, the technologies, and you're actually working on the back end in the R&D space. But however, I tried to step out of that zone and I want to get into the action, get in touch with the people who are actually making these innovations happen. That's how I ventured into this entrepreneurship development space. Once I started working into it, it really stuck me. Like, people are so innovative, they have these ideas and they work on it over and over again. I mean, I've been very impressed and aspired by these people. So healthcare is a very difficult area, to be very honest, as compared to the other areas. If I take, for instance, like climate action is on hype these days, even among the
Yeah.
CSRs and all. However, when it comes to healthcare, the gestation period of these startups is very crucial. It's very long and it's excruciatingly painful also. There are a lot of failures in this area that I have seen. But what I love the most is that these entrepreneurs, they never give up. They fail, they stand up again, they start all over again. And they're literally struggling on a lot of these fronts like financials, fundraising, development, and all of that. But somehow they all get it together. So I think it's basically the zest of these entrepreneurs that really inspire me to go on to this area and to help them. Even if I can do a back end support from an incubation perspective, that also gives me a really wide range of understanding when it comes to entrepreneurship development, when it comes to aiding these entrepreneurs and their innovations in biotechnology especially.
Yeah, with biotech, there are so many regulatory aspects, and then suddenly the policies change. So whatever you're working on, your direction has to change. I remember during the COVID, one of the startups, they were working in the field of medical sheets. So now they thought medical sheets are not that relevant. Let's focus on creating masks. So they diverted their entire energy from the sheets to the mask, using the same material. So it was quite an interesting case study for me also to see that how they had taken up that challenge of meeting the requirement at that certain point of time, and not shying away from changing their initial plan. Though that change did help them, they had bit of a fundraising issue. So by changing that plan, they could actually raise secondary revenue by getting that mask licensed out to different organizations, and not doing the manufacturing themselves. So yes, I agree with you that innovators do inspire us at each and every step, and every hour of the day, I would say. So you said that your career started with research. You are a biotechnologist, and then you got into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So if you had to rechart your career, what would have you done differently?
So when I was in the research arena, I was more looking forward to the traditional route of career move. That is like, you do your B.Tech, you do your M.Tech, you do a bit of a research, you gain certain amount of experience, develop skills, and then you go for a PhD. So that was where I was going at that particular timeline in my life. But then due to the COVID itself, there was a little bit of pivot in my career goals at that time. I got this opportunity of internship at BIRAC. I mean, everybody knows BIRAC, at least in the Indian ecosystem. And
ecosystem. Yeah.
while, yeah, while working there, I got a really sudden and a very profound exposure to the ecosystem, and I was very intrigued by these innovations. So then I thought, okay, let's just put a pause on the R&D part of it. Let's just get into this area and see how these innovators are actually developing. Because when we are doing certain researches in lab, whether it's academic or industrial related, you're not out in the front, right? It's like you're doing some back end action, things are going on. It's a pivotal part of it. But however, I found the, working in the innovation space more exciting and thrilling because it's on ground research, to be very honest. And
Mm.
right now, working as an analyst has given me even a wider scope to analyze all of these innovations, plan their growth, see how it goes. So the pivot that I made in my career at that point seems to be happening very well right now.
So, like, you took the internship, and that was an eye opener for you. So, anybody who wants to get into this space, maybe try out even before completely getting into it. Are there any other courses or any, such internship opportunities available for students and researchers before they enter into the ecosystem?
Yeah. So the good thing about this ecosystem is you don't really have to be just a college graduate or a pass out to go for an internship. Even if you're doing a PhD, you can still get into an internship. At least for certain government aided institutions or DST, DBT funded institutions like BIRAC and such, or even the ecosystems that have been, the incubators that have been developed by DST, DBT, or even now in private institutions. They have their own incubators that support
Incubator.
the gestation of these ideas for students and all. You can always get an internship at such places. You can be appointed as an intern or an associate. You
Mm-hmm.
can work for about 6 months to 1 year, work on a particular project, an innovation development kind of project that will help you develop some kind of an understanding towards it. And then you can go actually into the innovation space, because it's not there isn't a limitation of the skills you require. Like when I came into this space, I thought I'm from an R&D space for medtech, because medtech and biotech are not the same, but it's an
Same.
aligning domain. I
Yeah.
thought maybe my knowledge will help me in a more profound way. However, I found out that there's so much I don't know. Biotech is just a part of it. There's much more that I need to learn. And then there's commercialization part of it, market access, financials. There's a lot, there's a lot of in-depth assessment that goes on into innovation development. However, it also depends in which capacity you want to get involved. Like if there are students who are pursuing commerce or some financial aspects of it, they can very well get into a venture capitalist kind of a system who invest in these innovations. They can get into the assessment of financials and the fundraising trajectory of all of these startups and see how they can progress. So these different elements which comes into development of an innovation and establishment of an enterprise, you can actually pick up a part of it, an element of it, and start gaining momentum as per your career aspirations. Or if you want to have a holistic view, you can always take up a position at an incubator. There is a lot of opportunities. There is IITs who have their incubators, IIMs, private institutions right now, they are setting up their own incubators. They're always looking up for interns and associates to support them. So that is a good entry point in this area.
Yeah. So, what I could understand from your message is that, it's not open just for the science students. Even the
Yeah.
commerce students and the art students also have a chance to play a role in this innovation ecosystem, and they will find some position there, especially for the ones coming from the commerce background. Finance is always there for you, HR is there. For arts, I think more communication, digital content is the king nowadays. So, yes,
I
there are
mean, art
chance to.
students, they are more interested these days when it comes to at least the innovation part of it, the impact assessment that is done along with these enterprises, and
Yeah.
the policy development, working with the government or bilateral agencies. So there are a lot of there's a lot of scope in this area. Yeah.
Yeah, for overall, generally people have that misconception that innovation relates to science. So only the science
Not
graduates
yet.
or yeah,
So it's
not
not
necessarily.
just healthcare or medtech space, right? There is climate action, there is agriculture, I think there's a space for everybody who wants to venture into this area, no matter what your educational background is.
So, Anshu, have you in your journey supported any startups which are women based or women run, women founders are there? And if possible, if you can share some statistics on the number of such startups that you have worked with.
Yeah, so if I have to go line by line, when I was working in BIRAC through the Biotechnology Ignition Grant, we didn't do any gender differentiation per se. However, at least 30 to 40% of the entrepreneurs that we supported, the enterprises that we supported were women based, or at least had one of the women co founders. And then when I moved to IIT Delhi, it was the same pattern that followed. There was 30 to 40% of enterprises supported, or there was a representation of women in the executive roles. That's how we
Mhm.
at least try to, space it out. And then when I moved to the Villgro Innovations Foundation, where I'm currently working, here they have specific programs which support women entrepreneurship development. Like we have a program that we are currently implementing in association with JPEGO and USAID, in
Mhm.
which throughout the span of two cohorts, almost 80% of the startups that we are supporting are women led. They have
Okay.
women founders, as well as the other also has co-founders in that capability. So there's a huge boost given by bilateral agencies as well as the national agencies to kind of push women, at least that part of the gender, towards this. Also now there is a profound interest in the support of LGBTQ community as well. So even though I haven't implemented a program on such lines, but I have read about it. There are a lot of policies the government is working out, and also at Villgro, we make sure that we do such a supposition in a way that these kind of agendas are promoted in the
Mhm.
society. If I have to give you a number, if I would have worked with around 30 enterprises, almost 20 of it would be women led.
No, that's a very good number, I would say. And I really like the balanced approach that you have mentioned, that it's not just favoring any particular gender, but it's a balanced approach altogether. What do you think, Anshu, are the key challenges that any entrepreneur face during the journey? In healthcare, yes, the gestation period is one factor, but other than that, what are the key challenges that they face?
So I can say from the perspective of healthcare companies that I've worked with, there have been entrepreneurs who have well-defined R&D background. Like these are some professors or some really good science
Mhm.
students who come up with these ideas. They go ahead, incorporate their enterprise. But the problem is they don't give much thought about the business perspective of it. Like you can have an idea, you can have a plan, but if you don't know how to create revenue out of it, if you don't know what your market is, where you should be going, how the distribution pattern will work out, then it's really difficult to turn your idea into revenue. And these are two completely different things. It's not like because you are the brain behind this innovation, so it will just work out that manner. So, and it's very difficult for these people, even when they realize that they're not able to establish the financial side of their business or the revenue making plan that they need. It's difficult for them to find that skilled counterpart, because establishing a team is another challenge that these people have. Like
Right.
once you get all these funds, you have gone into your prototyping stage, you have an innovation that has turned into a product, and now the challenge is you have to take it to the market. And there comes your like you said, regulatory and all of these approvals. Most of the entrepreneurs have no clue about it, so they keep on running around hiring people to help them through it, get scammed a lot also, which is unethical. But yeah, we have seen a lot of these cases.
Yeah.
So proper planning is not there. I think once you're in your development stage, you should already figure out all these things. And the most
Mhm.
crucial part is you need to find the people, the right people who will help you with it. And even after that, the problem is they should share the motivation that you have. There are many falling outs that we have observed within co-founders, in the team itself, that people don't align with the mandate of the company or the vision of the founder. So there's a lot of misalignment, teams break out, and such enterprises then just fall apart, no matter how good their innovation or product was.
Product is.
So, identifying what you yourself as a founder are lacking, substituting that with finding a counterpart who has those skills to establish the business. This is the primary challenge you have. This is the foundation you have to base on. And then there are other challenges you'll encounter once you get into the business. Those are much more detailed, so I won't get into it. But yeah, even people who have a good established business who are working with us right now. So if it's a one founder enterprise, it becomes very difficult for the founder once they go out in the business. They are gaining some good profit margins and all. They're trying to expand their team, but they have no clue how to work with the team, how to make people happy working with them, align them with their own vision, and finding a co-founder who can help them, diversify their goals and help them create a balance within the enterprise itself. So I think team building has been a really crucial challenge for people, which is not bought about that often. Usually, people are just talking about the go to market problems or the fundraising issues that they encounter with VCs and all.
Yeah.
But I think the thing we have observed the most is the foundational issues are not being addressed properly.
Yeah, like you said that it's difficult to find a co-founder, one, who has the right skill set. Second, he or she should be, match the vision that you have. So these two bridges, I think, is the biggest challenge. And once you have done that, maybe the things would be still easier. The other thing that you pointed out, Anshu, is about finding the right people or the right
Hmm.
partners, because the entrepreneurial journey, you can't undertake it alone, right? You need the support of incubation, you need VCs support. Many of the VCs do put in the efforts of mentoring the startups also and giving them the right network. But in cases where that is missing, I know that most of the incubation centers also offer that facility of connecting with the right people, but then it is left to them, right? Everybody to decide whether they would or not, they would. So in such cases, are there any policies or any legislative layout which ensures that people connect with the right people, matching a process or something for the partnership?
Policies per se is not there because it's a limited approach that incubators take, right? So there will be certain incubators who will just make the connect and leave it up to the entrepreneurs to just take it
Take it
forward,
forward.
materialize that into some prospective engagement. Like for us, it's one of our major goals in terms of incubation, because we know, like I said, there are a lot of single entrepreneurs who are working throughout their journey alone. So for them, even making a balance as to the kind of people I should approach, how many people I should approach, what I can do based on the capacity that I have, so it's very difficult for them. And for some people, we actually have to mentor them how to even present your idea in front of VC. They don't have good presentation or communication skills also. So there's also a very detailed approach we take in such scenarios. For some of it also depends on the kind of people you're dealing with, right? There are some entrepreneurs who are very good at it. So you can just give them the connect and they'll take the lead and they'll materialize it themselves. So you just have to do the update thing with them, but there are some people who need more hand holding in these areas. So at least for us, what we do in our team is based on such cases, we help them curate their pitch decks, we help them with certain communication aspects of it, because different VCs that you approach have different styles of communication. So
Yeah.
you have to do a little bit background search also, and you have to give them the data, the presentation that they want to see. It
Mm-hmm.
cannot be like literally pushing up the same speech or same pitch deck to everybody. So all that curating is what we help entrepreneurs do along with our mentor pool that we have. So yeah, I think it's a more a case by case approach that we take. And sadly enough, that doesn't happen in all the incubators because certain incubators have limited capacity in terms of manpower and the support that they can provide. But yeah, most of the incubators that are profoundly infused into their operations, they make sure that there is a curated approach we take with each entrepreneur based on what their skill or capability is to interact with these VCs or even with the government agencies when you're trying to raise fund, when you're trying to approach them for a program or a grant support. So yeah, there's a bit of a research we do from our end, and then based on how it goes, we curate a plan, and then that's how basically we go with each entrepreneur. So case by case approach makes more sense here, because not all the entrepreneurs have the same skill set. Some of them are still, after establishing their business, scared to give a presentation in front of people. That anxiety still happens to these people even when they have like 6-7 crore turnover annually. So yeah, I mean, it depends on the personality of the entrepreneur, to be honest.
Yeah, and what you said is right, that, a customized approach, a customized plan for each entrepreneur is something that, or maybe, co-founders would work if there are co-founders. But then, like you said, that, the matchmaking process itself is a challenge, right? You connect two people. If something goes wrong, you're losing the relationship and put the end. So, so that is a risk that most of the incubators or the ecosystem enablers take by giving the connect. And that is an unspoken challenge, right? Nobody talks
Yeah,
about.
I mean, at least what I have been trying is I make sure I'm connected to both the ends so I can hold both the ends of the rope and make sure it doesn't fall apart. But yeah, there are times when even they want to connect one on one. So you cannot have that middleman approach all the time. So what
True.
we do at the initial stages, we try to coach them as much as possible. And then to a greater part, it depends on the entrepreneur themselves. I mean, you can push them, but you cannot literally hold them and take them to the end line, right? They have to move on their own. So we try to give the right push at the start so that there shouldn't be problem for them to take out the entire journey on their own.
Okay.
And when it comes to matchmaking, yes, it's a challenge. So we have to do our research, we have to build a case for these entrepreneurs. But so far, there hasn't been such a crucial challenge for us. The entrepreneurs that we are working with are very well versed with the innovation, with the market, and what they want to achieve in terms of fundraising or commercial goals. So it's very important that both sides have the clarity in terms of the give and take that they want. So matchmaking becomes easier for us because we don't take a uniform approach, right? It depends on the type of business, the type of goals people have. That's how you make the right connect with these people. So if you get the clarity, if you have the support from the entrepreneur in that perspective, then it becomes easier.
Yeah. So for any matchmaking, the clarity is the main thing that is going to build up the relationship. So I think that is the lesson learned. Everybody should have the clarity. Anshu, if you were to curate a women entrepreneurship program, how would have you planned it?
Honestly, what I have felt it, when we make it a distinct program for just women, it somehow limits their capacity to stand ahead later on at a grander platform, because women based cohorts that we have been working with have a very limited approach in terms of mentoring, in terms of the impact that they can show. The market becomes very, if you have to say, it becomes very congested, right? But later on, when they step ahead from this type of a cohort, and then they have to make face to face with the challenges that are there outside, they cannot have such a windowed approach. I don't really like the idea of just curating women entrepreneurship programs. I would like it to be more of a holistic approach in which you make sure, at least for the inclusion perspective, there is a certain percentage of women led entrepreneurs that are being incorporated in the program to give a boost. But if it's a uniform platform which has men, women, and others included, then it gives a wider perspective. Also, what I've observed is these women entrepreneurs who get trained into this windowed cohort of just women mentors and women VCs telling them what to do and all of that. Because we try to make it, then it becomes a complete woman led program,
Led program. Yeah.
other perspective into it. And when they go out and participate in other platforms, then it becomes difficult for them. What I've actually received feedback from some of these women who have been a part of these cohort is that women-led programs gives them an opportunity to get on the platform. But when it comes to the mentoring part of it, when it comes to the business side of it cannot be limited to one gender, right? Because when they go out to VC to raise their funds, there are a lot of men sitting in that room. And somehow they feel that they have not been taken seriously. It's a real feedback which I got from all of these, most of these women. Like when they try to approach a VC, and if there is a man and a woman co-founder running a company, there will always be questions put forward to the male counterpart because they think the male counterpart has more understanding when it comes to business, when it comes to financials. And also, there's a perspective of a woman who has a family will not be able to give much time to her business and all of that. So I just don't like the idea of these perceptions accumulating around the ecosystem. So that's why when it comes to women-led programs, in initial stages, it was a good idea because women were not coming forefront into these arenas. But now that there is a high population of women entrepreneurs in these areas and they're being highlighted for the great work they're doing. So I think we should go beyond just curating programs for, gender specific purposes and make it a uniform platform so they feel at par with the other counterparts that they are competing with. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a contradictory idea, but that's what I think. Yeah.
No, what I feel is that, like you said, the entry point could be the special women entrepreneur programs, but then later on, they should also be exposed to other aspects, right? It's not just facing a VC, but even in a boardroom when you're sitting, then again, you get this, looks, is she the one? Can
Yeah.
she handle it? So, to address all those questions, start with one cohort which is into women entrepreneurship program, then open up the second phase, which is general, so that
Hmm.
the both aspects are covered up. But I think that is going to take time. Managing both the phases won't be very easy because the entire journey is long, and usually these programs are of short duration, 1 year at the max. There are a lot of points, Anshu, that you have pointed out, and I've really liked. The most liked point was that the innovation ecosystem is open for anyone from any field, not limited to science. Any other points you would like to add before we wrap up and end the session?
Lastly, like I said in the beginning, right, the reason why I came into this area was the zest of these entrepreneurs. And it's not just women entrepreneurs, but I would like to point out that I have observed the challenges and difficulties that women entrepreneurs specifically have. Like I said, the way people look at them, the questions they have in their mind, it's so obvious on their faces. Like, can
Yeah.
she do it? Will she be able to do it given she has a family, she might not prioritize her business. So I feel very demotivated being a woman myself, and I'm very ambitious in my goals as well, right? I don't want to stay at my place. I don't want people to question my ability because of the gender that I have. I just want to give a shout out to all these women who are working in this area, that you're doing an amazing job and keep going on it, because these are the same people who come back to you and ask you for your guidance, your expertise, and maybe even your money someday. So just keep
Yes.
on going in this area, and don't let these thoughts wear you apart from your goal, because there are some misconceptions that happen in society, but it takes time, and with that it goes over. So yeah, we have a lot of role models who have taught us that. So yeah, just keep on going and don't get down. Women are able to create a balance in their personal and professional life, and they have proved it over and over again. But yeah, I mean, these are some challenges we have to fight. No matter if you are a founder of a company or even working in a organization as a clerk or something, this happens to each and every one of us in one or the other way. Let's not have these things hold us back, and let's just move forward and go towards our ambition.
Thanks, Anshu. Thanks for inspiring everybody. And let's work together to stay inspired and inspire others. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks a lot. It was a great conversation.